Why accreditation bodies are not created equally.
Hi, I'm Ruth Coodsey and I'm passionate about helping people live the life that they want to live on their terms. I talk about coaching, positive psychology, neuroscience, and business growth because if you want to live a fulfilling life, then you want to be going from a 0 to a +5 in positive psychology rather than focusing on bringing you up to a 0.
Coaching is an unregulated market, which means that anybody can say they're a coach. However, we have accreditation bodies, which mean that you can do a course, have experience and become an accredited coach, and that accreditation acts as a seal to say, okay, they've met a particular standard. Now, when I first came into the coaching space, I did my research and I saw, okay, the International Coaching Federation seems to be the gold standard, and that definitely is the case. But there were lots and lots of other bodies. And I did some research because I was setting up my own coach training and I wanted to make sure that the accreditation would mean something to the clients that we were attracting. So I did my research. And I also went through the accreditation process. So what I wanted to look at is, how do programs become accredited? What do they look for? And for me, one of the key things is that there is a standard. And the International Coaching Federation is one of the few bodies that actually listens to the recordings that students of their coaching, looks at the feedback that you've given those students and listens to the final observations and makes sure that they meet a particular standard and reviews that. And that for me is one of the reasons why they're the gold standard, because there is a thoroughness around this and there is a thoroughness around the competencies, which mean that the competencies and the work that was done on the competencies with the International Coaching Federation is very robust. And actually a lot of, if you're thinking about having a certified and accredited program and being able to be an accredited professional, you want to know that that accreditation is something that is recognised. Now, if you're working with individuals, people argue it's less important. My argument would be that it's becoming more important as people in the industry and people understand more about coaching, which is again why I would look, if I was investing my money, to go, actually, I'm going to invest in a program that is accredited and certified by the ICF or potentially the EMCC, ILM or AC. Those are the ones that I see stack up for coaching. There might be different interventions where it's a different program. And the reason being is these are things that are seen as reaching a certain standard. I've seen programs that are accredited where they listen to one recording. For me, that is not sufficient evidence, that's not sufficient development. So that isn't sufficient development working with a coach to make sure that they're going to be able to meet a standard. We do a minimum of 7 for our associate coaching and a minimum of 10 for our professional coaching. Because for me, as a practical skill, you need to listen to coaching to enable to support people to develop. If you have got an accreditation and your coaching hasn't been listened to, how useful is that? If you've been certified by doing an online only course, how confident can you be that you're able to deliver for clients? Where's the evidence? How committed are you to your skill development? And yes, it is murky for a consumer looking at all of these different bodies. But think about, if I want to be a professional, I know that I want to be with a body that I know is well respected, and a body that I know is doing great work in the world, research, and really is somebody that is recognised. And I would say that there is no other body like the International Coaching Federation, because they have been around for the longest. They have got the most robust training programs, and they've actually changed the structure of those to enable them to be more robust. So people are doing training that leads directly to accreditation routes at the associate or professional level. And equally, it has some kind of respectability behind it, meaning that if you want to work with corporates, it is the most recognised. If you want to work with individuals and you want to talk about the depth of study and the standards that you've met, again, it's really recognised. And I do think it's a shame that because the industry is unregulated, sometimes there are accreditation bodies who are less ethical, I would say, in their behaviour. And what you're ending up doing is paying somebody to endorse a qualification, and that endorsement is meaningless. And the problem that you have there is you have people going into doing the coaching, going into doing the training, who want to help people, thinking that they are committing to something that is going to make a big difference, and then realising that their piece of paper is meaningless. Now, let me just caveat all of this, that I don't think any training is meaningless. I think you can learn and develop, and I think the piece of paper is a nice to have. But if you are going there for one of the reasons to be a piece of paper, then you need to think about the accreditation body that you're looking at. And you also need to make sure that the course that says it's accredited is accredited. It's really easy to search on the International Coaching Federation. And if that course that you've invested in isn't on there, it's worth asking the question of the course provider of why. Asking for evidence of that accreditation is important. So my big thing to you guys is to really think about, when you're investing, what am I investing in? And if I'm investing in something because I want to see if coaching's for me, in all honesty, it doesn't need to be accredited. We run unaccredited courses. So, maybe that is a different purchasing decision to, I want to be a professional and the best that I can be, or I want to develop coaching skills that I know are tied to really great competencies. And it's then that you really need to make that decision over choosing an accreditation body that is credible and that is professional and that is well respected. So I know, and we may even be designing our own accreditation body, but we're going to stay with the ICFT because we know and recognise that we will have to put in the work to make sure that our accreditation body is as credible as them and is as widely recognised as them, which is probably going to be a 10-year project, and we would never want our students to miss out on having that from the ICF in the interim. So not all accreditation bodies are created equally. I would say research and discernment are needed, and always ask for help. I'm really straightforward and transparent. I think you know that from watching my videos. So if you're unsure, ask. And of course, there's always going to be anomalies. You know that I love my unicorns. There always is. So recognise and remember that even within this, there's nuance. And you have to make the right decision for you that is informed in what the market is like, what you need, and what meets those needs. I hope you found this useful.
Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd like you to like and subscribe. And remember to keep abreast of all of our new videos. Just ring that bell and you'll be notified when any new ones come out. And we'd love to hear feedback from you. So if you'd like to post beneath your biggest takeaway, and equally anything that you'd like to hear me talk about, we're always open to feedback.